This episode covers a number of child killers, their sentences, and what they have to go through in jail. The punishment for murder is not just grievous. It's a descent into the depths of horror. No matter the circumstances, the darkness only grows deeper. But when the innocent, the very essence of purity, are the victims, the shadows cast become unbearable. The world recoils in terror as it witnesses the silent screams of countless babies, their lives snuffed out by the cold, heartless hands of individuals who have abandoned all semblance of humanity. In their eyes, there is no mercy, no remorse, only the insatiable hunger for destruction. The story of Kristen Berry and her partner Joseph Walsh is a harrowing saga of unfathomable child neglect and abuse, pushed to the very limits of human depravity. Their journey into infamy began long before the tragic demise of their son Chance. In 2014, they having a son named Dwayne, only to endure the heart-wrenching loss of the infant just 2 weeks later. Dwayne's death, caused by a kidney infection stemming from a botched circumcision, was a devastating blow. Despite this tragedy, Kristen and Joseph would go on to have another child, Chance, born in 2015. However, instead of finding solace in their new baby, they harbor a deep-seated resentment. Kristen reportedly expressed a disdain for Chance, lamenting that he wasn't Dwayne. The mere sight of him fueled her anger, compounded by the couple's history of substance abuse. As if this weren't distressing enough, the situation escalated further. In October 2015, when Chance was a mere 9 weeks old, Kristen's mother, Sally Morosky, took a brave step and approached the authorities, revealing that she hadn't seen her grandson in a month. The chilling tale of Kristen Berry and Joseph Walsh serves as a stark reminder of the darkest depths to which humanity can sink, and the unfathomable horrors that can unfold behind closed doors. Even more disturbingly, the boy's parents had been involved in a car crash in South Carolina and continuously provided conflicting accounts of his whereabouts. Following the report, authorities in South Carolina swiftly charged Kristen and Joseph with child neglect, setting their bond at $150,000. Thus began the intense search for answers. Upon reaching the couple's residence, law enforcement officers were confronted with a scene of sheer horror. Blood splatters adorned the walls, and the deployment of cadaver dogs uncovered disturbing evidence suggestive of human remains. Strangely, Chance's parents exhibited little concern regarding their son's whereabouts. However, Kristen eventually led the authorities to a shallow grave located 13 miles from their home in a wooded area, where Chance's lifeless body was discovered. The sight was gut-wrenching, the decomposing body of a small child laid to rest in a grave amidst the wilderness. As Kristen and her partner were apprehended, further chilling details emerged. Kristen claimed that it was Joseph who had inflicted fatal injuries upon little Chance on the morning of September 16, 2015. He admitted to repeatedly striking the boy, despite Kristen's plea to cease, ultimately leading to Chance's tragic demise. In a disturbing turn of events, Kristen revealed that they had left Chance's body in his crib for days as it decomposed. When the odor became unbearable, they wrapped him in a blanket and stowed him away in a closet for several more days before finally burying him in the wooded area. In January 2016, Kristen pleaded no contest to aggravated manslaughter and received a 25-year prison sentence. As part of her plea deal, she was supposed to testify against Joseph in a separate trial for second-degree murder. However, Kristen never got the chance to take the stand. On September 10, 2016, she was discovered unresponsive in her Florida jail cell. Despite attempts to revive her, she was pronounced dead from suicide. Her tragic end raised concerns among prosecutors regarding its impact on Joseph Walsh's case. Nevertheless, Joseph was sentenced to 45 years in prison for the murder of his son and an additional 30 years for aggravated child abuse. Liam Dean. Liam Dean's story is a harrowing account of parental abuse and the tragic loss of innocent life. A 2-day-old baby girl was murdered by her father, who lost his temper and repeatedly punched her in a horrific attack when she would not stop crying. Liam Dean, 22, was handed a life sentence after a court heard he left Luna with catastrophic brain injuries. The 22-year-old was sentenced at Leeds Crown Court after killing the child at his home in Wakefield. Baby Luna was just 2 days old when she was left in the care of her father, while her mum went to sleep, but Dean lost his temper during the night when the baby continued to cry. Dean broke down when interviewed by police and admitted he was responsible for the attack. While in Liam's care, the baby began crying, as infants often do. Liam later confessed to the police that he became frustrated with her crying and resorted to violence. He repeatedly punched the little girl, shook her violently, and squeezed her arms and body. Tragically, Luna would succumb to her injuries just days after her birth. The story goes that Luna's mother, Karen Bissett, gave the baby to Liam to look after and went upstairs to sleep. When Luna's mother discovered her the next day, Liam spun a different story, claiming that Luna was struggling to breathe and had fallen, hitting her head. Believing his account, Luna's mother immediately called for an ambulance, but Luna was pronounced dead upon arrival at Leeds General Infirmary on July 14, 2017. However, medical professionals examining Luna quickly realized that her injuries did not align with Liam's story. She had suffered catastrophic brain injuries, prompting suspicion. Liam was subsequently arrested and admitted to losing control after Luna wouldn't stop crying. During the trial, Luna's mother delivered a heart-wrenching statement, describing the agony of seeing her daughter on life support in the hospital. Following over 3 hours of deliberation, a jury unanimously found Liam guilty of murder in October 2017. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 10 years. Tragically, Liam's time in prison was cut short when he was brutally attacked by another inmate, John Westland, just a month later. While Westland himself had a history of violence against women, he admitted that Liam's reputation made his prison life unbearable. Liam was found dead in his cell on November 12, 2017, having been attacked with broken pieces of a glass aftershave bottle while under the influence of a psychoactive substance. Westland was tried and convicted for Liam's murder, receiving a life sentence. Despite the tragic outcome, Judge Rodney Jameson QC condemned the act, stating that while Liam was guilty of serious offenses, it was an unfortunate consequence of prison life for inmates to prey on each other. He emphasized that such actions do not constitute poetic justice, highlighting the hypocrisy inherent in such violence within the prison system. Roy Whiting. Some individuals appear to have a propensity for malevolence, and Roy Whitling appears to be one of them. Born in England in 1959, he dropped out of school in 1975, taking on various jobs to sustain himself. Initially seeming like an ordinary individual, he married, had a son, and later divorced. However, by 1995, his violent tendencies started to surface. In the town of Crawley, where he resided, an 8-year-old girl was abducted and assaulted, sparking an ongoing search for her assailant. It is every parent's worst nightmare come to life. Your children are outside playing, they are with others, and it should be safe. There is no way that an inconceivable atrocity beyond thought could happen to them. Unfortunately, this is what happened to 8-year-old Sarah Payne on the 1st of July 2000. After authorities revealed that the assailant had been driving a red Ford Sierra, a local man identified Roy. He was apprehended and eventually confessed to the crime. Despite his cooperation, police sentenced him to 4 years in prison for abduction and indecent assault. However, his compliance shouldn't deceive anyone. A psychiatrist who evaluated him suggested he was prone to further criminal behavior upon release. Surprisingly, Roy was released back into society after serving only 2 years and 5 months of his sentence. Interestingly, Roy was among the first individuals to be included in the sex offender registry in the UK. Upon release, he relocated to Littlehampton in West Sussex and resumed his activities. True to the psychiatrist's prediction years earlier, he resumed offending. This time, the victim was 7-year-old Sarah Payne, residing in Surrey County, England. Her disappearance resembled something from a horror tale. On July 1, 2000, Sarah had been playing in a cornfield near her grandfather's house with her siblings when she disappeared. The story immediately grabbed national attention, and Sarah's parents made several televised pleas for her safe return. Police conducted extensive searches in the area and soon received some tips. A witness reported seeing a girl resembling Sarah near the highway. Then, on July 17, 2000, police made a tragic discovery 15 miles from where Sarah had vanished. After examination, it was confirmed that the body was indeed Sarah's. With Sarah found, attention turned to finding her killer. The police had been questioning individuals in the vicinity, particularly registered sex offenders. Given Roy's status as one of the earliest registrants and his proximity to the location of Sarah's disappearance, he became a person of interest. From the outset, police noticed suspicious behavior from Roy. He appeared unconcerned about the missing girl, and his alibi proved to be false. Then, another twist unfolded in the story. On July 23, 2000, Roy stole a car in Crawley and engaged in a police chase. He was eventually apprehended and served time in jail for car theft and evading arrest. While in prison, authorities conducted forensic testing on his car, leading to his identification. On February 6, 2001, he was formally charged with abduction and murder in a case that captivated the UK. Forensic evidence and eyewitness accounts helped secure Roy's guilty verdict on December 12, 2001. He received a life sentence with a minimum term of 40 years. However, Roy's time in prison has been far from easy. He has been attacked multiple times behind bars. In 2004, he was slashed in the face by convicted murderer Ricky Tregaskis, resulting in a scar. In 2011, he was stabbed in the eye, and in 2018, he was attacked by 2 prisoners in his cell. Despite these assaults, he has survived thus far and has not become another statistic of child killers being murdered in prison. That was all for today's video. You can share with us your views in the comment section about video, and if you are new to the channel, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any future bad cop videos we upload. Thank you for watching the video. Best of luck and goodbye.